Hello friends, it has been a very long time in between podcasts, but nonetheless I'm regrouping and I am going to get a podcast out there. So hello and welcome to, I don't even know what episode, let me tell you. This is how organised I am. I don't even know what episode things are. Uh, 16. Episode 16. Goodness me. Also, just one moment. Hold that thought. I'm having a hot flush. I just need to put the fan on. One moment. It is hot. And it's actually like middle of April. So in Australia, we are smack bang in the season of autumn. However, it's still very hot here today. We have been, this week alone, we've been in the 30s. Like, no joke, my husband and I went to the beach on Monday for a walk along the beach, and we were both so bummed that we didn't take our swimmers because it was actually warm enough to go in the water. Like, it was beautiful in the ocean. Like, we walked along the ocean and we walked along the ocean edge. So, like, the ocean was, you know, coming in and out of shore, and it was actually so beautiful. So it's weird, right? Because it's like April the 11th here. Thursday, April the 11th. We are just about at the end of term 1 of school. Yes! So my boys finish up tomorrow at school and they are home on holidays for 2 weeks, and I cannot wait because it's been a long term. This term for us has been 11 weeks and it's a long term. Like, we are used to terms that are about 8 or 9 weeks, so 11 weeks is long. My boys are tired, I'm tired, we're all ready for a break. So I don't know if I said welcome because I'm a bit off on a rant, a tangent, but my name is Ali and I am the host of this podcast. It is the Miss Ali Makes podcast, a podcast where I talk about the things that I have been making. Mostly it is knitting and crochet, with sometimes there'll probably be sewing, and I have taken a little bit of a liking to cross stitch as well. My plan is to have a bit of a go at cross stitch, so maybe there might be some cross stitch dotted in and out of the episodes as well. You can find me on Instagram. I am most active there. You can find me as at Finding the Joy Always. And I would love to, chit chat a little bit about crochet and knitting and crafting and just, you know, finding the joy in all the things, you know. So like I said, it's episode 16. It is Thursday, the 11th of April. It's nearly the end of term. We are just a week away from Easter, which is awesome. And I thought I really wanted to take the opportunity to drop in, say hello. It's been a long time. I think the last episode I did was possibly in January, so it's been a long time. But that is just what happens sometimes. I have been crafting, I have been doing a whole bunch of things, but mostly I've actually really been listening to my body and honouring where my body is at. For those of you that are a long-time viewer or have seen a couple of episodes of my podcast, you may or may not know that I have a chronic pain condition called fibromyalgia, and it has been giving me a little bit of curry lately, if that's even a thing. That used to be a thing. My grandma used to say, oh, my back's giving me a bit of curry, and I don't even really know what that means, but anyway. But it's been giving me a little bit of a little bit of hassle. It's been, I've been sorer than usual, not sleeping as well as usual, which means that when I'm sore, I am cranky and I just don't want to do anything, and I've just sort of had to sit and reevaluate some things and get rid of some stuff off my plate so that I can actually do the things that bring me joy, which is crafting and spending time with you guys, building a channel, which would be a wonderful dream, so here's hoping. But like I said, I'm most active on Instagram. I'm trying to get better at doing some stories, at least 1 or 2 every day. I don't do well all the time, but we're all just doing our best. So I've been rambling on for 5 minutes and, I haven't even asked how you're doing. So I hope that this podcast finds you well. If you are returning to my channel, a big thank you for spending some crafty time with me. I know that there is a lot of great podcasts out there because I watch a lot of podcasts, and so thank you for taking some time. To any viewer that is stumbling across my channel for the first time, hello and welcome. Like I said, my name's Ali. I am an Aussie. I live on the east coast of Australia with my husband and our 3 amazing boys, and I love to craft. And crafting for me has become so much more than just a hobby. It's a way that I can just settle after, if I'm feeling really sore and cranky because of my chronic pain issue, or also I have, really high levels of anxiety at times as well. So, crafting for me has been such a peace-filling, thing. So anyway, I hope you've been well. I've been plodding along. I am definitely, getting much better now. So, thank goodness for that. So I've been pretty monogamously knitting on a cardigan. I mentioned in my last episode that I was going to knit a mini sew-faded jumper or sweater for a little girl that I know. I've got to say that I did knit it. I didn't finish it. I knit the body. I split for the sleeves. Then I did the ribbing at the bottom, and I started the sleeve, and I pretty much just chucked it after that because I had had enough. And I've decided that maybe for me, knitting isn't all about the end project. It could actually be about the progress, in fact, and the learning that happens through it. Because for me, if you have watched the previous episode, I talked about that this year I really wanted to knit a first garment, and I wanted to knit one for myself. Now, I am currently knitting on a garment, and I am knitting on a garment for myself. So that's very exciting, and I will definitely talk to you about that. But I wanted to talk to you about the process of actually getting to that place of going, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to knit a garment, and I'm going to follow the pattern. And just for me, like knitting on the mini sew faded sweater was so great for me just to learn about the construction of a garment on a much smaller scale, because I was doing the size 3. So it's small, right? So I am not a size 3. I wear like probably a lady's extra large. So my garments are much bigger. And so for me to be able to do a smaller garment, just to sort of work through the progress, Andrea Mowry's patterns are great. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, but I have found her sweater pattern to be fabulous. Really easy to understand. And it just helped me to break down the process of how to actually knit a garment, the construction of how it happens. And it was just a really helpful thing for me, because then when I've started my cardigan for myself, I feel like I'm actually coming at it from a different angle. And I think I'm feeling less anxious about I'm feeling more confident in my ability to be able to knit it. So without further ado, friends, I'm going to show you what I am currently knitting on, which I'm pretty much knitting monogamously. I flip between this and my crochet blanket that I will talk to you about. So they're pretty much the 2 projects that I've been flip-flopping between. But this, I'm very excited. So this is the back of my CAMPSIDE cardigan. and it is blowing out terribly. It's probably better here. So it's like a petrol blue. It's really lovely. It's a lovely yarn. I'm really happy with it. And so this is the front, where I've obviously split for the sleeves, done the raglan increases, and now I'm just working back and forth on the back and the sides. The back and the fronts. So, like I said, this is the CAMPSIDE cardigan. It is by ALICIA PLUMER. I am knitting this is a 5mm needle, a circular needle. The needles that I'm using are Knit Pro Zings, and I'm pretty sure that I've got the meter cable. So they're fixed circulars. They are like metal needles, and yeah, they're pretty comfy. I like them. So the yarn that I'm using, this is actually an acrylic yarn from Spotlight, which is a big box craft store to me. They had some value bags of acrylic yarn. It's an 8-ply. The brand is Marvel. It's an 8-ply yarn, and they were a really good deal. So for me, like I mentioned, my size of knitting a cardigan, I think, is around about 10, it could be about 10 skeins of yarn. And when you buy, obviously, when you're buying, indie dyed yarn, it's $30 plus, $35 with shipping to get 1 skein of DK weight yarn. So 10 of those would be like ridiculous. So I thought and because this was my first cardigan, I wanted to use something that was a bit more economical. And I'm really, really happy with the yarn. It hasn't split. It feels really nice and soft and squishy. The other thing about using acrylic yarn is that it's going to be able to go in the wash and in the dryer. And for me, oftentimes I buy my cardigans and my jumpers. Mostly I wear cardigans. I don't really wear a lot of like woolen jumpers because I get really hot. Oftentimes with my fibro, I can't overheat. I like to have layers on so that I can take layers off. But all of my cardigans that I've bought, they're acrylic yarn, and they're $20 or $25. So to be honest, I didn't actually want to spend $1 million on a knitted cardigan, because I actually really want it to be able to be thrown in the wash and in the dryer and not actually have to care too much about the fact that it's a high maintenance garment. I just don't have that. I just don't want to. Isn't that funny? I just don't actually want to. So anyway, I have been very impressed with the yarn. I'm really loving the pattern. I cannot wait to wear it. Like I said, it's April. It's the middle of April here. I'd really like to have it off the needles, for this winter because I don't actually have, I want this to be the cardigan that I just sort of grab but I've really loved the pattern so far, I have to say. So this is my first pattern from ALICIA PLUMER, and I have to say I'm really happy. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I had bought it a little while ago, but sort of stalled a little bit on knitting it when I realised what the yarn requirements were, because it's, like I said, it's a really big outlay when you're using indie dyed yarn, and I am really happy with this acrylic yarn. So I love it. I really enjoyed the pattern. I'm nearly at the end of the second chart and then the pattern calls for you that you to switch to 5.5 mil needles and do another 2 charts, and then you're ribbing, and then you bind off, and then you pick up for the sleeves with the 5 mil needles and work your sleeves. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, I have kind of flip-flopped between the pattern, the cardigan, and my crochet blanket, because with my fibro, I just cannot, the purling is the thing that really hurts my arm, so I can't do it for a long time. So yeah, I sort of do the knit. The knitting is fine, it's just the purling, and I've sort of got myself a chair now where I can sort of lean my arm on, so it's not so, and because I'm a thrower with my knitting, yeah, but I've really enjoyed it. It's been really nice for me to have that on the needles. I have ordered, I got some other yarn, another acrylic blend that I will talk to you about a little bit later on, that I'm going to knit possibly another one of these cardigans, just depending on how it fits and how it goes. But it's a really lovely pattern, it's a really easy pattern, it's very memorizable, and it's a really nice, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So I highly recommend that pattern. So the only other thing that I've been working on, like I said, apart from my cardigan, is this beautiful granny stripe blanket. And I've crocheted over the ends. I just need to trim the ends off, which I will do. But this is my granny stripe blanket, which I'm loving, absolutely loving. Oh, it's up the wrong way. Good job, Ali. There we go. It's better. So I'm loving it. Loving it. So this is Stylecraft DK. I'm just trying to see if I've got a ball with a band. Yeah. Oh yes, I've got a cream one. So this is the one of my favourite blanket yarns. It's a DK, it's an acrylic, 100% premium acrylic. It knits to all DK patterns, and it is absolutely beautiful. So this is the cream. It is it's such good value as well. I think it's about, it's less than $3 a ball. There's quite a few places that I get my yarn online. One of them is Black Sheep Wools. It's a UK based, actually they're all UK based. Black Sheep Wools, Wool Warehouse, and I love crochet, or I love knitting.com, I think that's what it's called. They're really good. So I use a 4.5 mil hook, which I've lost. So that's also helpful. Here it is. I use a 4.5 mil Tulip brand hook. They're my favourite. It's called Tulip Edamo Rose. Really, really smooth and silky, like shank on it, and a really nice ergonomic handle. And I think I bought this when I ordered the second lot of yarn. So I ordered in all the colours, I ordered one ball, but I've ended up going back and ordering another ball and another couple of the cream, because I think what I'll do is after I'm finished, I will border it in the cream. I think I'm going to do the cream in the borders. So the colours. The blue is Duck Egg. Duck Egg. Pale Rose is this colour. Pistachio is the green. Vintage Peach is the orangey colour, and then I'm just starting the Buttercup Rose, and I just love it. I cannot even tell you how much my heart has needed a soothing granny project. So for me, when I just want a mindless, easy crochet project to do, cannot go past a granny stitch. I just can't. It just invokes soothing memories. I don't even know. It's just beautiful, and I can't get enough of it. This is like a lap size it's a good size lap blanket, and I have literally just enjoyed every single stitch of it. Like I said, I ordered, the only other colour that I'm going to add into it is called it's called Grape. And like I said, I ended up going back and ordering one more ball of every colour because I initially bought this yarn in this colour palette to make a baby blanket for a friend of mine who was having a baby. Her baby has since arrived and it was a boy, and I just thought, I think I might order him some boy colour Stylecraft yarn to make a blanket instead. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a soothing granny stripe blanket. And what prompted me to do that was the beautiful Brit from, let me just look up here. XOXB_crochets. I will put it up here on the screen. Brit is absolutely beautiful. She sort of put out the call to the crochet community on Instagram to crochet up a granny stripe blanket, and the hashtag was granny stripe together Cal or something. I'll put it up on the screen. And I just have loved it. And the thing that I've loved most about beginning this blanket was all the new people that I have been opened up to on Instagram. That's the thing that I love about Instagram. The community that you build around yourself is incredible. And, you know, people that you've never actually met in real life become, you know, really good friends. So for me, so big thank you to Brit because, yeah, I just really needed the blanket. I needed to do this more than I actually realised myself, but it's been such a soothing thing for me, and it's really reignited for me my love of crochet. So I learnt to crochet before I learnt to knit, maybe not. So I used to knit when I was very young. My grandma taught me how to knit, and she would crochet these really big granny blankets. They would just be big crochet squares, but Nan would just use up yarn, and she'd just get yarn from the haberdashery shop. Speak, Alison. And and I loved it, and I used to watch her, and it was such a beautiful thing. And so then, you know, probably about 5 years ago, I think maybe 5 years ago, I learned to crochet. My friend Vanessa just, you know, taught me how to crochet granny square, and I just kind of loved it. And then I picked up knitting again, and I wanted to knit socks, and I knitted some socks, and I've really just dropped my crochet, and I can't even tell you what has happened since I've, you know, picked up this, you know, this granny blanket. Oh my gosh, it's just been incredible. So it's been such a great thing for me. I've loved it. I've really loved it, and I look forward to putting in, you know, I mean it's quite long, so the rows are quite long, but it's just a really soothing granny. It's a soothing blanket, and then it's sort of reignited my love for crochet, and I've ordered some yarn, more yarn to make another granny blanket after this one, and I've also ordered some more yarn to make a little baby blanket for my friend who, like I said, had a little boy a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just loving it. And like I said, you know, I was in love with crochet before I really got into knitting again, and then I just discovered knitting, and I wanted to knit all the things, and I was struggling with the fact that I probably wasn't as good a knitter as a lot of the other, I wasn't as good a knitter as all the other people that I was watching online and seeing their podcasts and following them on Instagram, and I was actually feeling really deflated, like, oh my gosh, this is meant to be really cool and fun, but like I think I don't like it. And I think that's why I had such big gaps between like knitting things and whatever, because I just was feeling so much pressure, and I sort of had an epiphany of like, actually crafting is not meant to be stressful, Ali. Like, it's actually meant to be this positive, soothing thing that we do. So anyway, my love is granny blankets. I love them, and I always want to have one on the hook now, and I'm I just am going to be unapologetic about crafting the things that I actually love. It's such a no-brainer, right? Like, but anyway, so I digress. This beautiful blanket has just given me so much love and joy and peace at a time when, you know, I've really just, it's been hectic and busy, and I just needed it. And so I really want to encourage anybody that watches my episode today, craft the things that actually bring you joy. And if they don't bring you joy, don't do them. And be unapologetic about not doing them. You don't have to. Okie doke. So next up on the chit chat brigade this morning, or this afternoon, is what have I purchased? Now, because there has been a fair bit of time that has gone between podcasts, I just feel like it would be, there's just really no need to show you the amount of things that I have bought. Holy crap balls. You know, welcome to being a crafter, right? But I have bought a few things, and I wanted to first of all talk to you about this beautiful skein. So I have been watching Tracy from the Comfy Red Couch podcast for quite a while, and I love all of her test knits that she does, and she's just lovely. And we've connected on Instagram, and I suggested to her that maybe we should do a swap where I would send her a skein of Australian yarn and some Aussie tea, because I know that she loves her tea, and she would do the same for me. So I will, she mentioned it in her last, I'll find the episode that she mentioned the yarn that I bought her. I think it was a couple of episodes back, but I gave her a beautiful skein of saltwater yarns that is hand dyed in Australia, in Perth, Western Australia, by the beautiful Beck. And I sent her some T2 teas as well, because I love my tea, and T2 is a bit of a gourmet, you know, seller of teas here in Australia. But also, so she sent me, is it not so beautiful? Oh my goodness me. I literally squealed when I got it, when I opened the mail. So this is the Blue Brick inspired yarns. It is hand painted in Canada, and it is the Kalani sock. So it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, which is my favorite, like fingering weight. It's how I like to knit my socks. And the colorway is Peggy's Cove, and this is inspired by a beautiful place in Canada. So I was so touched. Thank you, Tracy. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, and I'm going to, Tracy suggested that I could knit one of Helen Stewart's shawls with the yarn, because Tracy used the same yarn but a different colorway in a test knit that she recently did for Helen. And I'm definitely going to do that when I clear some things off the needles, and but thank you. That's the other thing, you know, isn't it great about our yarny community, where we can find people that we genuinely have a connection with because of our craft, our love of craft. and they can become very dear friends to us, even though we have not actually met them in real life. So that's another one of the things that I love about, you know, the Instagram knitting and crochet community and YouTube. It's such a wonderful community to be part of, and I am so thankful that I get to be part of it. So thank you, Tracy. She also sent me some beautiful David's tea and a couple of other teas, which I have been working my way through and really enjoying. So thank you, Tracy. Second thing that I have bought is this beautiful skein of... Now, if you've watched my episodes for a while, you will know that I love Julie of Smudged Yarns. She has become a very dear friend of mine and someone who, yeah, I'm really thankful for. I'm thankful for her support and her encouragement, and so I reached out to her a little while ago and said, hey, you know what? Why haven't you been dyeing yarn? Because you dye beautiful yarns. The colourways are gorgeous. The smell is like out of this world divine, right? Incredible. So she went back to the dye pots and she has been dyeing up some yarns, which is beautiful. One of these skeins was this, and it is on her Cozy Sock, which is a 75-25 base, and it's beautiful, but she called it Finding Joy, and it just made my heart full when I thought about it, because, you know, so thank you, Julie. I love your yarns. I love that you're dyeing again. And so this skein is going into a set of 4 colours, which I will show on an upcoming episode when I actually start the project. But this is going to go into a beautiful crochet shawl. It's called Waru. It is by the beautifully amazing and talented Deanne from Addie Day Designs. She also has a vlog, a video blog on YouTube, and she designs beautiful crochet patterns. So I'm going to do the large size Waru shawl, and it calls for 4 different skeins of fingering weight yarn. So this is definitely going in that. And this other yarn, this is the yarn that I wanted to talk to you about. So I have ordered, so when I ordered from Black Sheep Wools, I ordered the next lot of, I've got fluff up my nose. Oh, it's itchy. You tell me if I've got a booger, of course, because that would be wrong. Anyway, so this is, like I said, I ordered from Black Sheep Wools. I ordered a whole bunch of Stylecraft DK. I ordered another one of my crochet hooks because I'd seemed to have lost the 4.5 mil. I ordered some of this Stylecraft Bellissima yarn. Now, this is a DK weight yarn. It is called Smoked Pearl. This is an acrylic yarn. It is 100% premium acrylic. But I have watched quite a few podcasters talk about this is such a beautiful, affordable yarn for garments. Now, like I said, I'm an extra large, and so a lot of the cardigan patterns call for about 10 skeins of yarn, between 8 and 10. And this, I think this was it was less than $5 a ball, Australian. So I think it was around about the $4.60 mark maybe. But anyway, it is so soft and so squishy. It's beautiful. I can't wait to actually knit it up and have a go and knit with it. I've heard lots of amazing things about it. So if you are looking for an acrylic blend yarn, not an acrylic blend, it's all acrylic, sorry. It's a premium acrylic yarn that you're wanting to knit garments with that's not going to break the bank. Apparently this is really good. I will let you know how I go with it. Like I said, you can only get it online because it comes from the UK, but it is really lovely and it just feels amazing. And for all the people that I've watched on YouTube and other podcasters and Instagram and that, people that use that yarn have just raved about it. So I'm excited because, like I said, I don't want to spend like $300 on a cardigan. That just seems ridiculous for me. Though, I digress quickly, a little sidebar. I have wanted to knit the Andrea Mowry Comfort Fade cardigan since it came out. And I think it possibly came out, it must have come out maybe 18 months ago or even 2 years ago. My size cardigan, I needed, I think 100 gram skeins. And so, like I said, at $30+ it's a lot of money for a cardigan. But I have been hoarding yarn. I've been collecting a very fine collection of DK weight yarn, probably for about 18 months. And I think I'm just about there. So yes, it's cost me ridiculously hundreds of dollars, but in my mind, I feel like I can justify it because it's taken me 18 months to hoard up the yarn that I'm going to use. So after I finish my CAMPSIDE cardigan, the next cardi that I'm going to cast on is the Comfort Fade, and I'm so excited. I literally am busting with excitement. So like I said, I've been hoarding yarn. I'm actually doing mine a little bit differently to Andrea's. I am not doing a fade as such, just with 4 different colors. I'm going to do a fade with every single, I'm using 12 different colored yarns. They're all very similar in that they're neutrals and speckles and all the things that make my heart happy, but I will literally just fade in and out as the skein ends. So I don't have to switch yarn like as I'm knitting with it. I don't have to like alternate, because that's just, I just don't want to have that extra stress. So I'm just not going to. So I'm very excited. I will definitely keep you posted. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, go over and follow me, because I will definitely put lots and lots of progress shots of my cardigan. I am so excited. And this is not actually an acquisition that I have bought, but rather an acquisition that my amazing husband got given from someone at his work, which was very cool. They know that I like to knit, and they gave him a ball of regular perfect yarns. So I've wanted to knit, and I believe that that's what then the pattern looks like. Now, I don't know that mine are going to look like this, because I knit my socks toe up, and these are knit cuff down, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if anybody, and so it's a 75 superwash, or 75 virgin wool, 25% polyamide, which is the same as, wool nylon. So if anybody has any tips and suggestions on how to knit these socks, but using a toe-up method, if you could comment below or message me on Instagram, that would be super cool, because I definitely am keen to try this yarn. Now it's a scratchy yarn. It's definitely not, it's not like superwash. It's not like an indie dyed yarn, but this is a commercial yarn, and it's like a workhorse. In lots of podcasts that I've watched and people on Instagram that I follow, it is a workhorse type of yarn. So, yes, it's a bit toothy, but I don't think it's uncomfortably toothy. And so it's the colorway 7124. They don't actually have names, but to me it looks like a smoky blue mist. Yeah, so that was pretty cool that I got so I don't know whether there's even I think there might be a pattern on the ball band, but I don't want to open it up just yet, because I'm not anywhere near close to being able to cast it on. And the other stash enhancement that I will share with you is my April, actually no, must be March installment of the Cozy Knitter. This is on her Bliss base, which is 80/20, and it is called the Ugly Duckling, and it's super cute. It's like lemons and yellows and blues and chocolate. It's a little bit like, it reminds me a little bit of Easter. I don't know when I'll knit them. I'm hoarding these yarns. At least I'm being honest with myself. But I do love her yarns. So that's pretty much about it as far as knitting and crochet content. So I'll chat a little bit about life stuff now and then I will finish. So like I said, yep, you know, crazy busy schedule. I think everybody just feels like that. I'm going back to do some study, which will be cool online, doing an online course. So that'll be good, trying to juggle that and kids and work and life and church, as you do. So that'll be cool. Like I said, nearly school holidays. It's nearly my birthday. It's my birthday month. Whoop, 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 whoop. I watch Cozy Up Knits, and beautiful Sarah, her birthday is April as well. So happy birthday month to you too, Sarah. I think that's about all really. It's probably rambled on enough. So I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you are enjoying what you are crafting. If you are not, frog it, rip it out, make something that you like. And if you would be so kind as to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I would love it if you leave a comment as well. That would be like super cool. And until next time, happy crafting, be blessed, do what you love. See ya.